and welcome back to Well Played, presented by The Skim. I'm Caroline Hendershot.
And I'm Blake Morgan.
Hey, girl.
We're in the postseason.
I know.
How are you feeling?
It's really sad. I felt like a lost puppy this weekend because I just kind of didn't know what to do with myself with no football.
Girl, it was Valentine's Day.
I know, but like Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday because I'm sorry, you should love me 365 days of the year.
Yeah, but you know what I like? I think that you can be loved extra on that day.
Okay, that's fair. I do require like extra love almost every day because I'm very needy. But like, you know, I'll take, here's the thing though, like it's a lose-lose because I'm like, oh, I hate Valentine's Day because it's, you know, a made-up holiday. But then I do expect flowers and chocolate.
You're part of the problem, girl.
Yeah, no, totally.
I have to say.
I completely agree.
Did you guys do anything?
No, we ordered sushi and we're just going to have like a very chill night in. Said sushi did not come for like 2+ hours. So then we were like, screw it. We're going to drop that and we're just going to pivot to fried chicken, obviously.
Ooh.
Next best option.
Okay, wait. Can I ask, was it from like a local spot?
It was from Jersey City, actually.
Oh, do you know where?
Bob White's.
I know Bob White.
Yeah,
I know
slaps.
him.
Yeah, he has perfected some
got
fried
the
chicken.
goods.
Let me
Mr.
tell you.
White knows what's going on.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
So yeah, we did that. And then the sushi arrived after.
You're kidding.
Yes. So,
2 hours is ridiculous. I hope you got a refund.
Yeah, don't worry. I did do some complaining. But yeah, so it was there were some wrenches thrown in, but that's okay. We survived. And we persevered.
You know, that's
How
what
about
love's
yourself?
about. It's about getting through the hard times together.
Exactly. What about you?
I went to a pizza spot that's very famous somehow. It's called Lucali in Brooklyn, Cobble Hill or Carroll Gardens. I don't know. It's been featured on TV a couple times. And we were able to walk in, which is crazy. And they're like, you only have this table for an hour.
They saw you and they were like, oh my God.
They're like, oh my God, is that Blake
from Well
Morgan, the host
Played?
of Well Played by The Skim? True words. I swear to God. I said, no pictures, please.
Yeah, you said autographs after.
And I ate the pizza. It was $32 for an 18-inch.
Oof.
But it was really good.
Okay,
I wouldn't wait in line for it, though. Like a lot of people were.
Yeah.
And then I went to a comedy show. And then I watched Harry Potter 7 Part 1.
Lovely.
That's all. It was a great night.
Love. That's across the board.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, I would say.
Big love.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, so it was very sad with no sports on this weekend.
But there were sports on, as we will get into.
No football. That was rude of me.
Yeah,
no
damn.
football.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yikes, that was a bad Freudian slip on my
Yeah,
part.
truly. Just because there's no football doesn't mean we don't have topics to cover,
there were plenty of
guys.
other things, yes.
Including?
That was All-Star Game, both NBA and NHL.
Right.
Well, like not one game for the NHL, but we'll digress. We'll explain later.
Yeah. Women's college basketball.
Yeah.
Big weekend for that.
Great basketball games. And we do have to have a conversation about the highest paid athletes, none of which are women.
Right. We'll get into that later.
Shocker.
I love that for us. We love when women, right?
2025, baby.
Yeah. But before we get into that, like, let's make sure you're watching these videos on YouTube.
Yes. Make sure you are hitting the follow button. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And
make sure you're following us on Instagram.
Yeah. And maybe like rate us, review us.
It does go a long way.
Send us a DM if you want.
Yeah.
Remember,
low-key, my DMs have been dry lately.
Yeah, they have.
I have
maybe
to say.
because we haven't been desperately
Wait, actually,
begging.
that's not true. I got a thirsty message in my DMs a couple weeks ago. Like, didn't I send it to you?
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe you did.
I'll read it real quick because it's good.
Okay.
This is from Joseph.
Okay.
Imagine little old me is sitting across the country scrolling and looking at Commanders videos as my team heads to the NFC Championship.
Oh, this was a bit ago.
Yeah. Well, it's February 5th. I guess, I missed a week.
It's okay.
Anyway, an acute human pops up in the feed and has funny sports takes. And I swoon. Figured I'd pop in and start our origin story and let you know you're very cute. And although we live across the country, perhaps one day we'll get lucky enough to grab a glass of wine and talk about this ridiculous DM.
Oh my God. Hilarious.
I know. I mean,
he really shot a shot. You have to give him credit where credit's
He could have
due.
just been like, hey, girl, what's your number? But he didn't. He put thought into it. So I respectfully declined.
Yeah.
But the thought was there. Thank you, Joseph.
Okay,
Joseph. I wouldn't mind getting more nice DMs like this. Although I am taken.
I would still prefer my DMs to be from the girls because
I'll take either. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Yeah.
Shall we get into playing the field?
Let's get into it.
Okay.
we're beginning playing the field with a reaction to the NBA All-Star Game.
Yes.
As we mentioned in the intro. And all the festivities that took place over the weekend, there were many, honestly, more festivities than basketball being played. It happened in San Francisco. The annual event has actually taken heat in recent years because it's just been kind of a little bit of an embarrassment. And fans have actually called it, there's just like a lack of competitiveness.
Yeah.
This time around, the NBA did change up the format quite a bit.
Yes.
And let's just say it didn't really go as planned.
No. Players were broken up into 4 teams and played a series of shorter games and then kind of amounted to like a tournament style, amounting to the championship. But it was the actual broadcast format that had the players annoyed because...
And fans.
Yes, and fans. In the 3 hours of game time, only... roughly around 42 minutes of actual basketball was played.
That's
3-hour broadcast,
crazy.
42 minutes.
That's wild.
Insane. And to make matters worse, the players did not really love the constant interruptions from Kevin Hart and the Inside the NBA crew. And you can hear a clip of Kevin Hart and OKC star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting into a little verbal spat. Tempers were flaring.
Yeah. Also... I mean, I understand Kevin Hart was just there to get his bag and he was like hired to do a job, but it's just like...
And he's like a comedian, you know? He's there to entertain.
I don't find him very funny all the time.
Ooh. Shots fired.
That's it. That's the tweet. Do you think the players were as annoyed as like the broadcast was making it seem? Or like...
I don't know. I do think that... Yeah, I mean, I think that they weren't having a good time, to say the least.
They were straight up not having a good time.
Straight up not having a good time. Yeah, it was just like the vibes were not there.
Well, did you see LeBron didn't even end up playing?
Yes, so he was a late scratch, which...
what does that mean?
A lot of people were heated about. So he essentially bowed out with like 90 minutes before...
he didn't even put his uniform on, I saw.
No. He said he was dealing with some ankle like irritability, some maybe like ankle soreness. Foot and ankle discomfort.
There we go.
I wanted to get that right. But I think people weren't mad at that. People were more mad that it was like 90 minutes before the game so that he couldn't be replaced by anyone. And so like, I mean, let's be real though. Sometimes if you don't know, it's like a game time decision, you know? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, so you believe that he had
I'm giving him... He's an old man. No offense. No offense.
Guys, Caroline just called a 40-year-old man old.
Okay. As an athlete, you're
right. I know.
Ancient.
I was just trying to stoke the fire.
Of course. But like, also, no offense to the 40-year-olds out there. Please don't come for me. But like, yeah, he's an old man. So I feel like he's just a little bit more battered and bruised and maybe just a little fragile. And so, you know, you have to be a little extra cautious with those tweaks.
Okay, well, I thought that he just didn't want to participate because it was so goofy, the whole thing. I mean,
think that's why Anthony Edwards didn't participate.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He also tapped out. He's like, LeBron's not playing? I'm not playing.
He said,
The hell?
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was tough.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I think, hard because it seems like the NBA wants people... us viewers to take it more seriously, like the All-Star game, because from what I understand, I didn't grow up watching it, but like people used to love watching
the dunk contest used to be quite literally iconic.
Yeah,
like it would draw an insane crowd, insane viewership, and like it used to kind of give you a product that you wouldn't see on the court,
obviously, because like dunking can be a little dangerous.
Yeah, and it was just also they were doing like crazy dunks.
Yeah, that you can't
and
just
like
do during
over
the game.
people and all this nut stuff. So it used to give you an element that you wouldn't see on the court, and now I think because players don't want to get injured and they're just being a little bit more cautious, they don't even want to play, and so which is funny because. The incentive isn't like the winner. I'm pretty sure the winner of the little tournament that they did had like millions of dollars as a reward.
I think it's like a little under $2 million. Yeah.
Sorry, a little under
get,
two.
Like, not for nothing, but
I mean, it's a drop in the bucket for them. I understand, but like still, like a little money here and there that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was interesting because last year. I tuned in for the Sabrina and Steph three-point contest because I was like, oh, this actually sounds so interesting. I'd love to see how the two go against each other and how she fares, how he fares. And they didn't have that this year.
Well, it was on purpose.
Yes.
At least.
Care to explain?
Well, you said Sabrina, right?
Yes, Sabrina. But like, they wanted Caitlin Clark this year.
That's what I was getting at, was that she was invited, but she was like, no, I'm good. And she was like, I'd rather save my 3-point contest for when the WNBA All-Star Game happens this summer, I believe in July, also in Indiana.
Yeah.
And she's a Fever player.
Yeah, so makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like they didn't have that draw, so I think they lost some viewers. But like, to be fair, I think that speaks to the WNBA because they're like, no, if we're going to like draw this crowd to you guys, like we want to draw the crowd to us. So like kind of almost recognizing their own value in a sense, which I loved.
I would call it a tasteful gatekeeping.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Why? Yeah. I mean, hopefully this means that Steph Curry will show up on the WNBA All-Star Game court and
love that.
Rip out a couple threes.
Him, anyone. LeBron.
Yeah, truly, honestly.
Yeah, like I would just love to see the favor kind of be repaid.
Yeah, since they, say they love the WNBA.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
But
overall, I think the All-Star Game, while the NBA tried to make it more serious, they also, or tried to make us take it more seriously, they made it actually so unserious with how many ads there were. Little Kevin Hart making his jokes. And then, I feel like some players didn't take it as seriously as they wanted. And
yes, I don't know. Let me actually get into that because there were a couple of other notable events at the NBA All-Star Weekend, including the dunk contest.
Right, as we mentioned.
We'll get into that during Send It. But the skill competition drew a lot of eyeballs, most notably because San Antonio Stars Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama got disqualified for not attempting legitimate shots at the basket.
Yeah, I loved this so much because basically I think so they were trying to, or they did really.
They did.
They just didn't quite succeed because it was deemed illegal, but they were trying to exploit a loophole where they would have been able to set the best time by skipping the actual shooting portion. So it was really just like a time contest rather than like an accuracy
an obstacle course.
Yeah.
And like
you're just trying to finish first.
Yeah.
But
they didn't do the actual obstacle. They just like took the balls off of said basket and just like chucked them in the air instead of actually trying to take a shot.
Yeah.
And make the basket.
So what did you think?
Well,
so sorry, to put a button on the story, they did this. They thought they could get away with it. They did not. And they got disqualified from the skills challenge.
Yes. So I thought it was actually hilarious when the NBA rep came over and was telling them like, oh, you've been disqualified. And Wemby was like shook to his core. It was kind of like when your older sibling talks you into doing something that like they know probably isn't great, but like they still want to do it anyways. And the younger sibling is then like, wait, what? I didn't know that I would get in trouble from this. Like I was just kind of following their lead. Yeah. And he was definitely distraught. But Chris Paul seemed unfazed.
Nobody was surprised by Chris Paul on this action.
Yeah, he seemed
They call him CP3 in the streets.
In the streets.
Do you know why?
Tell us why.
I looked it up because I was like, why do they keep calling him CP3? Like to me, I had like, I reversed the letters in my head, so I thought it was like PC, and I was like compute, like he's a computer. No, it's because like him and his brothers all have like the same initials. Like it's like 3 of them, CP, so he's CP3.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, the more you know.
I liked that you thought it was PC though.
I had a moment.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sometimes I mix up my letters.
It's okay.
But also, I saw that the NBA official didn't allow a reporter, her name was Allie LaForce, to interview them afterward.
Be for real.
What is so stupid?
Be for real.
It's
the All-Star Game. You have Kevin Hart out there making jokes.
And you're not going to let her interview them on their hijinks.
Okay, I just have to say, we're going to get into this in a hot second. But like the juxtaposition from the NBA All-Star Weekend and all of their activities to the NHL, like 4 Nations All-Star Tournament is so different.
Yeah.
Like one of the stars that got interviewed and was a big controversy got interviewed right after the first period. And so it's like, okay, let them interview. People, that's what people want to hear.
Yeah.
They want to hear
especially behind the jokey moments.
Come on.
And I just think, given how, like I said, unserious this event was, like,
couldn't agree more.
They were just running with it. They were running with the unseriousness.
I just thought that they should have let, like, just take yourself a little less seriously.
Yeah.
Know? Like, just play into it.
And I don't think anyone should be surprised that I was like, yeah, I like that they found this loophole and ran with it. Also, like, I'm sorry, if you don't want people to exploit the game, then make it unexploitable.
Okay,
NBA.
also, though, that Draymond Green said that Wemby did, in fact, go around and ask several people if his strategy was legal. And so...
Wemby would. He's so good.
But, like, apparently he just asked the wrong people because, like...
He was tipping them off too early.
You know what he was doing? He was asking dad and he wasn't asking mom.
Right.
Because let's be honest, mom has ultimate veto power and she makes the rules. And it's like dad can say, sure, you can do whatever you want.
He should have known.
Doesn't mean yada in the end of it.
Yada.
I had to come up with a word.
Yeah. But speaking of Wemby, so both him and Giannis, aka the Greek Freak, they suggested that the NBA actually pivot to a new format, especially given the backlash of this weekend. Sort of akin to what we're about to talk about, the NHL. What do they call the Four Nations?
Four Nations, yeah.
The Four Nations games. So basically they would have like a U.S. versus the world. So U.S. team versus the world team. I don't know if they just mean two teams. I don't know if it would be like Olympic style.
Yeah, I don't...
What do we think?
I mean, I'm here for mixing it up. I just think that, like, you have to actually... Clearly, money is not the incentive there.
Yeah.
But, like, you have to put something on the line, whether it's, like, honor for your country, a gold medal. I don't know. But, like, something that actually kind of makes the players want to showcase their skills and play to their best capability.
Yeah.
So, I don't... Maybe
especially
it's
because I don't think this All-Star game is going anywhere, given, like I said, like how many ads were played. Like this is a big money-making weekend, I think, for the NBA.
Yeah.
But I think I'm pro taking this worldwide.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of NBA fans out of the US. Let us not forget.
I would also love if, I don't know, something like maybe more niche and like more specific to the All-Star tournament. So like it's kind of never been done before. I know you were talking about the Unrivaled.
Yeah. So in their mid-season tournament that just happened was like a 1v1 situation.
Love that.
Which is so scary.
So scary.
Oh my God. It's like when I go to karaoke and sing on stage by myself.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Yeah. I mean, that has been floated around as a possibility, or even like 3v3. I don't know.
I just think that would be fun, you know? Like give us the roots of basketball.
What is like an unhinged thing that would make you tune into this game? Just like for closing thoughts, because I have a couple.
Of course you do. I don't have anything like top of mind unhinged, but like for example, last year the Sabrina and the Steph 3-point competition, that I was like, yeah, I'm game. So it's like, okay, maybe it's who can make the furthest basket, like a Caitlin Clark and someone else, and they go like head to head of who can go further back and continue to make the basket.
Yeah. Okay, well, the thing that triggered this question in a way was, like you said, getting back to the roots of basketball. This tournament was played in like pickup style.
Yes.
So I want this to be like a true pickup game. I want to see them on like a concrete court in Manhattan. Adam Sandler is off to your right playing his own game.
Okay.
I want to see sweaty jerseys that haven't been washed in weeks. I want to see the sweatbands that haven't been washed in weeks that are threatening a relationship. Your girl, you know.
Totally. That are Katie's not holding back any hair.
Katie, you got to get rid of it or I'm breaking up with you.
Completely.
What else do I want to see?
You know what, actually, now that you're giving me this inspo?
Think.
I want them to play horse.
I was always so bad at horse.
Think about the roots of basketball.
Listen, for the kids who like aren't that good about, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think you could. I think you could come up with some pretty good trick shots. Like remember the kids that used to do the behind the back?
Never me. Or knockout. Remember knockout?
Oh my God, that would be fun.
The stress levels.
Oh yeah, that was
up to here for someone like me.
It wasn't good for my anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there could be some.
I'm thinking like an ounce of forced embarrassment. I think that's another thing too. Because like why? I feel like people were talking about how LeBron didn't participate because he knew how much of a clown show this was going to be. And it's like he didn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that we need to embarrass these people, humble them a bit.
Agreed. Also,
they have too much ego.
We'll get into, 100%. We'll get into why the superstars are not participating in the dunk contest.
I know.
And that definitely has to do with embarrassment.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that when we divulge into the
I want
dunk
you to compare this to the NHL game that happened.
Because it's insane the two opposite ends of the spectrum that these two all-star weekends are on. So the NHL did a new format this year called the Four Nations Tournament. Features the US, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. And they, essentially did each team plays each other and then the best record advances to, I think they have a point system. Best points goes to the finals that are this Thursday, actually. But the game that drew a lot of attention was obviously Canada versus USA because, hello, a lot of history there. Mm-hmm. 3 different fights broke out in the first 9 seconds.
Oh my God.
9 seconds. Are we for real? Okay. But it was like electric. I was not ready for what was going down. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I saw, like, as you said, the first 9 seconds, like they do tip off. And then literally
puck drop, but yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Same thing. We were
just talking about basketball.
Yeah.
What did you say it was called?
Puck drop.
Okay. I almost
was
about to call it puck off.
Puck off. Yes. Okay. So they do puck off.
Okay. So they do puck off. And literally within like maybe 3 seconds, they're already ripping the gloves off.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Like nothing even happened.
Okay. Yeah. So with hockey, like a lot of the energy and the kind of setting the tone they do with fighting, obviously.
Knew that.
Obviously. And so brothers Matthew and Brady Tkachuk, incredible. They were involved in 2 of the fights. Mm-hmm. And they essentially said after the game that they had a group chat going earlier that day.
Oh, so it was planned.
Oh, yeah. And they were like, we're going to set the tone. And we're going to send a message early. And the message is like, it's our time to essentially beat Canada. Because I think in the last like 17 matchups head-to-head Canada-USA, Canada has won. So they were like, no. It's our time. So they were like, I think they were probably instigating in warm-ups. Don't hold me to that. But like, giving the vibe of like, we're going to fight so that Canada was aware. And then puck drops and boom, gloves are off. So Matthew, the older brother, fought first. And then like, okay, he goes to the penalty box. And then they try to resume play. Boom. Brady, younger brother, fights. Like
they were not messing around.
And honestly, the greatest part about this was all of the aftermath. So Brady is like, okay, he finishes his fight. Yeah, he's also going to the penalty box. Little did we know, at least I didn't know in that moment, they were mic'd up.
Huh?
Brady like goes into the penalty box. They like high five each other. They go in and he goes, I got him good. And his brother goes, yeah, you did. How was mine? And he goes, unbelievable. So they're like hyping each other up.
That's so cute.
The place, it was in Canada, so like the crowd was booing them, obviously. Yeah. They were feeding off of it. It was electric. USA went on to win 3-1. So not for nothing, but it worked. But I think the even funnier aspect of this, so their dad, Keith, played in the NHL. He fought a Canadian player 20 seconds into a game, USA versus Canada, back in 1996 during the Hockey World Cup.
Dude, it's a family affair.
No, it literally, they're just following in their father's footsteps. Right. And then their dad, I think, like, after the broadcast was like, they're crazy. Like, I can't keep up with them. And I'm like, yeah, but you did it first.
You did this.
You did it first. But it's just so funny because as I was saying, like, the juxtaposition, it's like the NBA players are like, I don't want to get hurt. $2 million is not enough of an incentive for me, yada, yada. The NHL players who are not playing for money, literally for like a medal and just the pride of their country, are quite literally throwing blows.
Yeah.
Like throwing absolute haymakers.
They said, hold my hoops.
Yeah,
like
exactly. They said, hold my hoops. We're about to get real serious. Yeah. So even better, rematch for the finals on Thursday. So Canada, USA.
Oh, God. I can't wait to talk about it next week.
I know. So I hope everyone's tuning in because, okay, this is literally coming from someone who's not stereotypically a hockey gal. And that was like mind-blowing.
I know. It's crazy too because like obviously the NBA All-Star game gets so much pickup, like press pickup. And this was just like
kind of like
quietly
under
the radar.
Yeah. But I think like it goes to show you need the player buy-in. Because without that, like, it's not going to have the same product. Like, without them being like, no, we want to show that it's, like, our time to win against Canada. Like,
that's what I mean. I think an international game could do us some good.
I think it could.
Take notes, NBA. We're going to shift focus a bit. We're going to talk about the numbers that are in for the top 100 highest paid athletes list of 2024. And in a shock to maybe literally no one.
0.
Not one of them is a woman.
Crazy. Don't worry.
In the Lord's year, 2024.
2025.
Yep. Well, now, but it was for...
Sorry.
But we were talking about it in
2024. Yeah.
So this is according to sports industry news site Sportico, which listed out 100 of the highest paid athletes, and Cristiano Ronaldo topped the list at about $260 million.
I'm not surprised by that. I feel like he's been the highest paid athlete for a minute now.
Yeah.
But American tennis player Coco Gauff was the top woman at about $30.4 million, well behind quarterback Daniel Jones, who made it in at number 100 with a total $37.5 million. So how do we feel? Obviously not great.
It's just crazy because, okay, I know that the NFL is probably the most watched league in the U.S., but just the fact that Daniel Jones, one of like, and I'm not even like that tapped into football, as you know. But I know he is a low impact player. So the fact that he was able to make it on this list before Coco Gauff, who we know has been slaying and serving, is just astounding to me.
Yeah. You know what I was wondering though? Like, is this just based on their salary, not like endorsements?
No, it's not. It's it's income plus endorsements.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah. I think for Ronaldo, he received $215 million in income and in prize money, and then in addition to that, $45 million in endorsements.
Totally.
Wow, his endorsements are actually more than Coco Gauff's. Wow.
Entire earnings.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's like an old head and people love him.
He is like very iconic.
Right. Let us not forget.
But yeah, that's tough.
And it was also crazy too because, I mean, you tell me what you think of this. But also there were like niche sports. Well, sports that I think are more niche. Okay. But maybe I'm wrong. I can't tell if it's just like me and my bubble. But like golfers. I guess you got the dads though watching that.
Also though, like Live Golf, like that, like new league separate from the PGA, there was a lot of money there. That's like why a lot of the golfers switched from the PGA to the Live League.
So you're not that surprised by that?
Not completely, but
Okay, fine. Shoot me down. It's
but
fine.
like Serena has made it in the past, no?
Yes, Serena and Naomi Osaka.
Okay, so that's good to know. But also like, is it always a tennis player? Like for women?
That's true.
That's
also
like,
all women of color that I have found in my research.
But yeah, I just feel like it shows we're not quite there. Like obviously that's a well-known fact, and we've made great strides as women in sports, and particularly like, for example, the women's national soccer team. Like they finally got their equal pay after fighting for years of it when they outperformed the men's national team time and time again. But like, it's just crazy that in the grand scheme of things, I don't think people need to be paid the same. I'm not asking for Coco Gauff to be paid the same as Cristiano Ronaldo. But it's just like, comparatively to some of the people on that list and the impact that they make in their sports.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are we not kind of giving women a bigger platform?
And like, giving them what they are worth.
Totally. What a concept.
Right?
Crazy.
Yeah, I think we had great visibility for women's sports in 2024.
Yeah.
So even though we're not quite there yet, I think that continued
steps in the right direction.
Exactly.
But still many steps to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was also a news story yesterday from Caitlin Clark's agent, Erin Kane. And she said it's not currently possible to compensate Clark for what she deserves, saying, quote, will Caitlin Clark ever be paid by the WNBA what she's really worth to that league? I don't think that's possible. I mean, the fact that her own agent is saying this is crazy. But what did you think about this quote?
Correct. Like, I think, first of all, when you have a literal effect named after you, the Caitlin Clark effect, I think there's a method to the madness there. I just think that there hasn't, like, I was thinking about this in the terms of the NBA, and like, before Michael Jordan, the NBA was established, well-known, very funded, like, was paying their players, all of that. Same thing with LeBron. Like, they were set up in a way where they were able to not only support, but like enhance these superstars in the making.
Elevate.
Elevate. Thank you. From a young age. And it's like, not that the WNBA isn't like able to elevate players, but not to her magnitude. Like she is the biggest star that they've seen at this point in time. And it's just like, I don't think that they're ready for that in a sense.
Yeah, I was actually watching an interview or listening to an interview with Nafisa Collier, who co-founded Unrivaled that we talked about before. And she was talking about like the concept of like star and superstar in sports. And like, she was like, I think I'm a star. Like, I play really well. And I know that there are many stars in the WNBA, but like, I don't think I'm superstar level. Like, superstar level would be like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, people who are like making impacts on not only the sport, but then also like the wider culture. And like
attracting people that wouldn't typically view
Exactly.
the sport as like, now, oh, I'm going to watch because of Caitlin or Angel Reese or,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, I think it's like an A-list versus a B-list celebrity.
Exactly.
You know? Like, you have your Beyonce and your Jay-Z. They're very, like, untouchable. You
Yes.
know? But then you also have, like, an Olivia Rodrigo for... I'm just literally throwing out the first name that comes to mind. But, like, very famous, very successful, but just not, the level of Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, I quite literally never see Beyonce and Jay-Z unless they want to be seen, you know?
Whoa. True. It's like they don't need to pay attention to, like, they don't have many obligations. They really can be choosy.
They kind of
them.
like do their own deal. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like superstar. I mean, it's like LeBron
Yeah.
opting out of the All-Star.
Right.
He can do it because he's a superstar.
I wanted to share just like one interesting thing that I read.
Yeah.
Which we might have even talked about before, but there was an economist from the University of Indiana who calculated that Caitlin Clark actually brought in $36 million in economic impact on the city of Indianapolis.
Yes, we talked about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to remind us of her impact, and over a quarter of the WNBA's economic activity for the 2024 season, including attendance, merch sales, and television. And obviously her salary is only like $78K.
Yeah. Crazy.
Just to remind us of the value that she's brought, I mean, within the league, but also just like on a wider economic scale.
Okay,
I know you're gonna roll
your eyes at me, but like, I just have to say, like, it's kind of like a mini Taylor Swift Eras tour because like Taylor Swift essentially created a micro economy every city she traveled to.
No, I will not roll my eyes at that because that's crazy.
It would bring people in. They would buy tickets. They would then like spend money in that city, and it would like boost that city's economy for the time that she was there for the Eras tour.
Oh, definitely.
Same thing with like Caitlin Clark traveling for her games. It's kind of
because people,
a smaller version of that, obviously.
Yeah, because I gotta say, I have no numbers to back this up, but I have this feeling because the amount of people I know that flew to another city, even to other countries, to see Taylor Swift perform, it's just remarkable. Yeah, I would like to see the numbers on that. Economist from the University of Indiana.
Mr. Economist, please give me that data. So very, very interesting, but we'll see.
Hopefully we'll see some women on that list in 2025.
Maybe breaking the top 100. That would be lovely. Shall we get into Tuesday Morning Quarterback?
Yeah. So we're kind of switching things up with Tuesday Morning Quarterback, y'all. You're going to notice because we actually are not talking about football at all in this segment, but it's our opportunity to talk to you about sportier
But it's still like I feel like Tuesday Morning Quarterback is more all-encompassing. Yeah. Like, obviously, we focused on football for a while, but like, it's more so like the phrase, you know?
Yeah. Also, whatever. Get over it. We're expanding, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's continue the episode as we do with our roundup of all the sports action you need to be talking about. It's time for
Tuesday Morning Quarterback. Okay, so football's over, which means we have to turn our attention to the hardwood, the basketball court. So women's college basketball is in full swing, and the season is already heating up.
Oh, def. I mean, this past weekend, I feel like I saw so many headlines coming out of so many different games. Yep. But what we're going to talk about is the South Carolina Gamecocks. They had their 71-game home winning streak snapped by the visiting UConn Huskies. That's crazy. They were led by star Paige Beckers. Number 7, UConn beat the defending national champions 87-58. It was considered one of the biggest wins of the season. Just how good do we think Beckers is? And like, do you think she's going to get a championship for UConn?
Oh my God, I would hope so.
That'd be so cool.
First of all, I feel like she's been in college forever because of like the COVID year and then her injuries and all of that. So she's a senior now, so it's like...
How old is this girl even?
That's a good question.
I'm going to Google that real quick.
But she's in her senior year, so like I would hope that, she closes out this chapter with a bang.
She's 23.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's a spring chicken. But it was actually Azzy Fudd who had 28 points. And I saw this not incredible, it's actually kind of heartbreaking stat that the two of them, Fudd and Beckers, have only played 35 games together in their collegiate career. And they like came in together. People were like, it's going to be this incredible tandem,
star
this
power.
Great duo. Only 35 games because of both of their injuries. And so I'm just like, if this is the product you get when both of them are on the court and like they're both in their element dominating, I don't know. I think it's...
I could smell a championship. At least playoffs, perhaps.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to see what they kind of continue to roll because let me tell you, March Madness right around the corner.
Yeah. So what do you think about the USC like snapping their winning streak though? Like, do you think this is cause for concern?
Not really, because Dawn Staley is just probably going to absolutely whip them into shape. But here's the thing, and I always say this, losing is actually really good for dominant teams. And like, okay, so they're coming off being the reigning natty champs and like they have 10 McDonald's All-Americans on the roster and like they are top dog, right? I mean, I don't think they're seeded number one right now, but ranked number one right now. But like, you need to get your butt kicked and have like a little bit of a reality check to then end up playing well, because that is always a thing that like whips you into shape. Yeah.
And you also got to win. I mean, I think for UConn, like this was just showing that, like you said, like this is just showing them that when you play really well, it boosts your confidence. And I think they're really ready to kick some ass.
Let me tell you, as a Connecticut native.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
My goodness.
Everyone forgets. There's nothing in Connecticut except for UConn basketball. So just let us have this, okay?
Isn't that where Brianna Stewart went?
Yeah.
She's a national treasure.
Yeah, she is. Wait, also, did you see that Paige Beckers passed Rebecca Lobo in like all-time scoring in the UConn all-time scoring list? And Rebecca Lobo was on the call.
Wait, no, what?
Yeah, so like Beckers like makes a bucket and moves her from I think like 12 to 11, and usually, you know, they don't mess with like anything but like top 10 or whatever. But because Rebecca Lobo was on the call, literally calling the game, they were like, "So Rebecca, how does it feel?" And she was like, "Are you really? You're really doing this to me?" It was so funny. I was just like, "Oh, that's
I did not
hilarious."
see that. Yeah. You did flag to me this clip of Paige Beckers trying to slip past, I think it was Holly Rowe.
Yes, it was.
At her halftime interview with her that she was like obliged to go to. Oh, yeah. She was literally just trying to like...
Yeah, she was trying to sneak off like no one would know.
Yeah, at halftime.
Okay, welcome to my world.
Say more.
I quite literally have players, like you can see the PR rep go and tap them. And then like you see the conversation happening. And I'm watching this from afar every time. And the player literally is like, dude, I don't want to.
A Jets player hates to see Caroline coming.
They really do. They hate to see me and my little microphone fast walking towards them. And they're just like, oh, God, I don't want to. And I'm like, and then they're, of course, very nice to me. And they're always very polite. But they're like, "Hi, Caroline." I'm like, "Hello, so-and-so." And I try and make it as quick and painless as possible. But I get it. Like, you're locked in. You want to keep your head in the game. It's like kind of the last thing you want to do. Yeah. But yeah, welcome to my world.
I love that. I love that analogy.
It's not fun. Because I just want to be liked. But say love me.
Meanwhile, Vanderbilt star Michaela Blakes. Sorry, I had to pause because nobody ever shares a name with me.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to bring this up myself, but I'm really glad that you were calling it out.
Yeah, Michaela Blakes. She scored a freshman record 55 points this weekend in a win over Auburn.
55. That's insane.
5-5.
5-5.
The total was just 6 points shy of the overall record of 61, which was set only 3 years ago by Ayoka Lee. Mm-hmm. Blakes also had a 53-point outing on January 30th. Yeah. Only a couple weeks ago. So is this? Do you think this is an explosion of star power that is just like coincidental right now in women's hoops? Or is it just like...
I think it's a combo of both. Like more attention on the sport. Yeah. But also like women are just... like kind of like the new league is coming up. I was going to say,
they're just like getting so good.
Yeah, a new wave is coming up where it's like there's been more invested into the sport probably from like the youth leagues on, so that like they can develop better as a player. And now it's like, okay, more eyes on the sport. Now we're actually paying attention to records that are being set and calling them out and giving them the proper credit that they deserve. Yeah, insane.
Sorry, I was just sitting here smiling. I'm just like, yeah, I love to be a fan of women's sports.
Do you think that you could, in a collegiate women's basketball game, if you were put on the court, do you think you could make a basket?
In a game?
Uh-huh.
No, I've never played basketball literally in my life. Literally. Like, I'm also tall-ish, not quite tall like yourself. And for some reason, my parents never thought to put me in basketball. And I actually think I have some... And it's not shame. This is a therapy session now. I'm just like, I kind of wish they gave me the shot.
You know what I used to do in like 5th, 6th grade basketball, YMCA league, duh. Obviously, I was 2 feet taller than everyone. So I would just quite literally turn around with my back to the basket, dribbling the ball, would just back up into people. Would like physically with my force just like make my way to the basket, then turn around and I go. And would just like literally give people my butt and just would like force them out. Yeah.
But basketball was not your sport ultimately.
No. Was just not. I liked volleyball so much more.
Right.
And those were conflicting seasons.
Yeah.
Both usually in the winter.
Both good sports for tall people.
Yeah. Loved.
I mean, it's nice that you had options.
Yeah. What can I say?
Guys, it's time for another round of Send It. So, as always, we're featuring our favorite viral moments from this week that you should be sending to your group chat. Caroline, you have the floor.
Okay. We have to talk. We didn't touch on the Eagles Super Bowl parade.
Right.
And obviously you have to because, oh my God, the city of Philadelphia
Those crazy
showed
cats.
up and showed out. They were everywhere. It was very impressive. But I feel like my favorite clip of it all was when Saquon Barkley, the star running back, had the best viral moment of the day when he spotted the Eagles ball boy in the crowd. Like he's walking the street because he's like off the float at this point. And he's walking and like someone yells his name. He looks back and he sees him and he's like, oh my God. He starts talking to him, whatever. And you can kind of tell he's like, why aren't you in the parade? And whatever, they keep talking. And Saquon literally just reaches over the fence, lifts this human being up and out and plops him down next to him and then like walks hand in hand with him. And he's like, no, he's with me.
It's crazy because like in a sea of people who are screaming your name and he just happened to turn around. I don't know. Maybe he recognized the ball boy's voice. But.
Or like maybe he like called him a nickname or something, you know? Yeah. But insane.
Oh, I loved that moment.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I'm going to pick a different moment from the parade.
Okay.
Which is when my man, thank you to my man, Jalen Hurts revealed during his victory speech that he actually vowed to never visit the Rocky Steps in Philly until his team won a championship. And then there he was at the Rocky statue.
That's wholesome.
Giving a little speech. Also, a moment for the backwards Newsies cap.
Oh my God. Yeah.
How do we feel?
He was just, I mean, he's playing into that whole vibe, you know?
What is the vibe you're talking about?
Because he came into the, he had like his pregame and also postgame because he got dressed back in it, I think. One of his outfits this year with like that backwards hat and like he looks like a straight up 90s sitcom star.
Dude, he literally looks like Will Smith from like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Totally. Exactly. I just have to say one thing about the Rocky statue. I'm going to expose my sister, but did you know that my sister, we finished like Creed, the movie Creed. She comes out and she goes, so where is Rocky today? And we were like, what? And she was like, you know, like, what, did he survive? Like, did he survive cancer or whatever? And we're like, Rocky's not real.
Honey, I'm going to have to sit you down for this one.
She was like, but they have a statue of him. And I was like, you know what? Credit where credit's due. That is a little crazy.
You know what? They also have an entire Harry Potter world in Universal Studios.
It's a really great point.
Which sister?
I can't expose her that badly. Oh my God. But if she listens to this, she's going to be mad. I'm going to receive a text.
Okay, I'm going to guess it was Erica.
Maybe. Maybe not. But maybe.
Jury's out.
Okay. Let's get into the dunk contest.
Right. We saved the best for one of the last.
Okay. G-Leaguer Mac McClung took home the trophy for the third consecutive year of the dunk contest.
Three-peat.
Yep, exactly. So his best dunk came when he jumped over a Kia, a full-blown car. And then he grabbed the ball off the head of someone who was standing in the sunroof and dunked it. I'm sorry. What? It wasn't like he jumped over the hood. He jumped over the full-blown car.
Yeah.
And for context, this man is in the G League.
Right.
What does that mean? It means he doesn't see the NBA floor. He is quite literally one step below. That's fine. But like, this is why NBA superstars are refusing to participate in the dunk contest because they don't want to go out there and then get shown up by a G Leaguer.
Like I said, forced embarrassment. They should have to. They should be forced to participate.
They should.
And they're like, oh, I don't want to get injured for dunking. No, you just don't want to be embarrassed.
Come on, just say it how
Get
it
humbled,
is.
babe.
He has now won $310K in dunk contest earnings. His career earnings, $132K.
Oh my God. Thank God he can dunk.
Yeah, no, for real.
He'd be broke compared to...
He would be broke. So broke. Yeah.
For me, I'm just like so happy for him because it's like, know your lane and stick to it. He knows he's a dunker.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a Red Bull sport they should sponsor. Because everyone's like...
Totally.
Everyone... You know, another comment that I was reading was like, all the dunks that have ever been done... Like, all the dunks that there were to do in life have been done before. But I feel like Mac McClung is like, hold my hoops yet again.
Totally. Wait, what
Let me
was
do my thing.
The basketball trio, not trio, but like the group that like does all the fun intermission?
I have no idea.
Come on. It's like not the Wizards. That's like a team. It's, you know, the Globetrotters.
Oh, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes, sorry. I was really blanking on the name.
Oh.
But, you know, like they kind of do fun stuff like that.
I feel like I've been seeing them in the headlines recently.
Bring them back.
I think they are.
Yeah. So
but also, okay, I have to point out, this guy's only 6'2".
And he jumped over a car.
No, that's not my point. Oh. You are 5'11".
Yes.
2 inches off.
Yeah.
You could maybe do this.
No, I could not.
You don't got hops?
Here's the thing. I think I can do a lot of things.
Right.
I maybe have an overconfident level in my athletic ability. I know where to draw the line.
Okay, fine.
Not a car.
All right.
No, ma'am. Not for me. Also, just don't think jumping is a very trained muscle. I have not jumped in quite a many years.
Well, listen. While I'm training to become a Knicks Pep Squad member this summer, as you mentioned on the podcast, you said you would help me train. Yeah. I will help you train to participate in the dunk contest.
This is like the blind leading the blind. What credentials do we have? 0.
No,
I'll tell you that
okay.
much. Okay.
So for our last end of the day, one last little NBA All-Star Game sort of adjacent story.
A nod, yeah.
Yeah, which was that, did you see the really cute video of LeBron James and his daughter Zuri?
Yes.
Like hitting the iron, maybe, as they might say. They're doing a full-blown workout with each other at his...
And she was like keeping up.
Yeah, she's a little cutie at his gorgeous LA home. Very cute moment.
Yes.
But people in the comments were not shy to say... LeBron, what the hell? Like, you just said you were battling.
Remember that foot and ankle discomfort?
Yeah, you were battling. You couldn't even play in the game. Now you're pumping iron with Zuri?
With Zuri, yeah. Yeah.
It's like an affair.
It is. He cheated on the All-Star game with Zuri. Which I get it. It's his daughter.
Yeah.
Let him
Never making memories.
Yeah, please.
Let him have this, haters in the comments.
Also, do you feel like Zuri is going to grow up to be an athletic, absolute beast? Because I kind of do. Like, I feel like all this attention's on her brothers, and it's like, okay. But then I feel like she's going to sneak under the radar. Maybe not basketball. Maybe something else.
Oh my God, it would be so fun if she played in the W.
Yeah, I mean, that would be sick.
So cool.
But like, also, what if she's very tall and she just like absolutely demolishes people in like volleyball or something? Would love it.
You have an agenda.
I do.
Zuri.
I mean, I'm just obsessed with volleyball. I'm trying to have someone live out my dream.
Right. You're gonna get it through Zuri James.
I'm the obsessed mom. So, which was your favorite?
Dunk contest, easy.
Yeah, I think I have to go with that too.
Yeah.
Mac McClung.
Go him.
Pop off, King.
Yep. Know your lane, stick to it.
Happy for him. Maybe they should just like put him in a couple NBA games just so for the pure fact of like having crazy ass dunks.
Yeah.
I would like it.
Yeah.
Here for it. All right, that's it, I believe.
It is.
Wow, sad.
Went by fast.
And just like that, we've reached the end of the episode.
And just like that, Big died.
Oh my God, morbid. Okay, that's it for this episode of Well Played, presented by The Skim. Thank you as always for listening.
Yep, you can find us on YouTube. We publish full-length episodes every Tuesday in video form, or you can listen on your preferred podcast app.
Oh, also what I wanted to say before I say my final goodbye is if you see something that you think is Send It worthy, tag us in the comments.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
I just think that there's so many people that are like, no, this is Send It worthy. No, this is Send It worthy.
True.
Like, tag us in the comments, and we will shout you out if we use it on the show, and we will let you know if it is, in fact, Send It worthy.
Yeah, we like to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, so let a girl know and tag us. All right, Blake, where can people, speaking of which, follow you and tag you at?
Right. And send me thirsty DMs. You can reach me at BLAAA 4Ks E.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Mm-hmm. That was crazy. You can tag me at CG Hendy and feel free to send me a DM. Would prefer if it wasn't thirsty. But
she's engaged to be married, y'all.
But if it happens to be thirsty, we will survive in advance. Alrighty. Until next time, thanks for listening to Well Played.
The only podcast in a league of its own.